Welcome to Job Tips, the career development channel. In this video, some really good questions that you can ask near the end of the interview. That's coming up. I have in my hands here several pages of questions that I pulled from Indeed.com. I would be the first to tell you that I don't know everything. Right? None of us knows everything. We are a compilation of knowledge that we've gained over the years of our lives from other people and other resources. And I like to pull from really good resources for you and do the research for you and then provide the information that I can find for you. I've got some really good ideas of my own on some great questions that you can ask near the end of interviews. But I wanted to pull these from Indeed because they've got some fantastic writers and researchers and experts over there. And I want to give a shout out to them for providing such a great service to the workforce of the world. Okay, so first of all, I will tell you that you always want to come to an interview with questions in mind, because you don't want the interview to just be them asking you questions and you just responding. Even though some of the responses may be interactive, it's not as much of an interactive, conversational kind of a situation as you would like it to be. So when you start asking questions at the end of the interview, when they give you the opportunity to, and most of them will, it becomes much more conversational. You are kind of interviewing them as well, because remember, you may want or need the job, but it's important that you work for a company that is a good fit for you. Because you may get a great job, or you think it is, maybe it is, but with a company that you find out maybe soon thereafter or sometime down the road that this was a big mistake for whatever reason. So have some questions in mind that help you determine if this is going to be a good fit. So Indeed shares some ideas that for example, company-specific questions, role-specific questions. They have 39 questions, 35 or so questions, maybe 39, wrap-up questions, those sorts of things. I'm not going to put them all out there. You can go to Indeed.com and find this information, but I'm going to give you the ones that I think are among the very best. Okay, so some company-specific questions. I would say, how would you describe the company's culture? Remember, it may be a culture that you don't want to be a part of. So it's important to learn that. How would you describe the company's culture? And ask the interviewer. Now let's assume this is not the recruiter who's interviewing you, but maybe the hiring manager or someone, or a panel of people that actually work for the company. What is your favorite thing about working for this company? Maybe you don't know anybody else who works for the company. It would be great to have some insight from them. And they may give you I'll say half-baked answer, but maybe an answer that's not entirely, it's going to be a positive spin for sure. But for the most part, there'll probably be some pretty good honesty in there, hopefully 100% honesty. How do you think the company defines and demonstrates its values? Here's why this is important. Some companies have their core values, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, how do they demonstrate? How do they define those core values, right? I mean, are they just words on a plaque? On a big monumental board as you walk in the building? Or do they actually live up to those values? It'd be nice if they can tell you that. How about this? What qualities and attributes make for a successful employee in this company? That's important to know. How about, who do you consider your top competitor and why? Now, you may have already done some research when you research the company, and if you've researched who their competitors are, but you may not have been able to pick up on who they consider their top competitor and why they consider that. And then the next question, which I love on here, is how are you better than your competitor? That's important to know, right? Because let's just say you're going to work for a company that, I'm going to be a little bit of an extreme here. They say they manufacture a product and it's just junk product, but they're making a lot of money. They're selling it to a cheap market, and their markup is healthy enough to make a great profit. But they're junk product, and maybe they're the lowest. Somebody has to be the lowest in the industry of whatever that might be. Maybe this company you're applying for is the lowest. Let's just go there for a moment. And if they can't demonstrate why they're better than the competitor, you may find out, again, depending on the kind of business that you're interviewing for, and the kind of industry you're in, and position that you're applying for, you may find out this isn't the company I want to work for. Or you may find out that it's the top company, and certainly it's the one you want to be with. How about this question? What are the biggest opportunities currently being presented to the company? So maybe it's a company that manufactures and sells things, and they have a giant contract that they're negotiating on, and it looks pretty good. It could be pretty huge. This simply opens, again, dialogue back and forth. You're showing a lot of interest. Now, you're not going to have opportunity to ask 30-something questions at the end of the interview, but these are ideas of questions that you can ask. What makes the people stay at this company? Now, I'll just share with you anecdotally. I mentioned in other videos a prior career of mine where I worked for International Truck and Engine Corporation, otherwise known as Navistar. And I worked for a supplier to Navistar for a number of years and got to know a number of their internal employees. One of the things that I had noticed was people in that company had been working there for 15, 20, 30, 40 years. And some of them that I got to know were second and third generation employees. Their dad or mother worked for the company, their grandfather worked for the company, and now it's, And so I would ask that question, and I did ask that question one time. What is it that keeps people here for so long? Then I got a number of responses, but it was really good to find out, why do people stay with this company so long? One of the great responses I got, I thought was kind of funny. One guy said, nobody else will hire us. Obviously, it was tongue-in-cheek, but people loved working for that company. So it was great to find out. So that's good to find out, right? How about this? Now, in role-specific questions, and so specific to the role for which you're interviewing, can you elaborate on the day-to-day responsibilities of this job? Now, you may have already talked about it in some detail in the interview. Now you're asking them to elaborate a bit further. Okay? Who would I be reporting to? Now, this is almost like you're assuming the job, which is a good thing. It'd be nice to find out, who am I going to be reporting to? Will I have an opportunity to meet the person I report to during the interview process? They may say, nope. They may say, sure. They may go to that individual and invite them into the next interview with you because you want to meet the individual. And that gives you a really good opportunity, especially if you connect with the individual, to shake the hand, make good eye contact, and develop a bit of a rapport with who might become your immediate supervisor. Here's why that's really good. If that person likes you, and all things being equal, right? You're qualified, you've got the background, you got what they're looking for, but maybe 10 other people do as well. But you're the one that your immediate supervisor got to meet and got to connect with. When the panel comes together and compares notes, and they look at who are we going to eliminate, who are we going to keep, if it went well, that person that you met, who might be your direct supervisor or direct manager, the person to whom you're going to be reporting, may have said, I really like that candidate. I think I can work with him or her extremely well. And if this person holds some sway, this person can say, please do what you can to bring this person on board, because that's the kind of individual that I can really connect with. That person now starts selling on your behalf the reason why you should be hired. So it's a powerful thing. Could also go the opposite way. That person may say, no. But you don't know. It's good for you to know who you'll be working for. And you may find out, I'm not sure I want to work for that person. Anyway, what does the ideal candidate for this role look like? Not physically, obviously, but they may give you some criteria. You may find out that I don't fit any of those criteria, right? Or you may find out that you're the perfect fit. How about this one? What do you think are the most important qualities for the person in this role to possess? Now, they may mention some things. Gives you opportunity to come back with, well, I have those qualities and here's why, or that specific quality, or this quality and here's why, and demonstrate, right? Here's another one. Beyond the technical skills required to succeed in this role, what soft skills do you think will serve the company and position best? It's important to know those kinds of things. Here's another one. Is this a new position? If not, why did the person before me leave this role? See, you don't know what you'll do with information until you have it. So how you'll respond to that, whatever the answer is, you don't know. You don't know what the response is going to be, but it gives you some good insights. Here's another one. How have people previously succeeded in this role? It gives you some good insights. If this person was a superstar and that person got promoted and now the role is open and you're applying for that job, they may tell you how that person has succeeded so you can kind of model behavior maybe. I mean, all things being equal, doing what somebody else did to be successful will make you successful, everything else being equal, right? Let's go to another category, and that's wrap-up questions. Some wrap-up questions that Indeed.com recommends that you consider asking would be, do you need me to clarify or elaborate anything regarding my suitability for the position? So this goes to, all right, you've had the interview, and they may want to ask you some clarification questions on some other things. This is giving them that open door. How about this? Is there anything else I can provide to help you with your decision? All these questions are extending the conversation. And the longer the conversation goes, generally speaking, the better. If the conversation just sort of wraps up and they want to just end the interview, you can know that you're not going to get hired. It is when the interviewers and the interviewee continue to have this dialogue back and forth, bringing in more information, more things to consider, more ideas to go back and forth. That's what gives you a good indication of what the result might be. How about this one? Has this company changed your original career path? What will you do with that answer? Don't know. But you won't know either until you get them to talk about it. It's just a good conversational thing. What's been your best moment at this company? Now you're just basically letting them just open up to you. That person's best moment. Be nice to know. And that's about it. As far as some of the questions, there are other questions, but I don't want to bore you for the next half hour, but some really good things to think about, some great ideas, again, brought to you by Indeed.com. Some things to think about as you move into and through the interview process, questions to ask at the end of the interview. Have 4 or 5 of those kind of picked out, and let the dialogue continue. It'll increase your chances of getting that job. Let me know in the comments below if you have other questions that you've asked in previous interviews, if they've served you well, or what you thought about this video. I do hope you liked the video as much as I've enjoyed making it for you. Now, I would be so grateful if you would subscribe to the channel, give us a thumbs up, and hit that notification bell to not miss any new videos that come out. Well, for job tips, I hope you get that job or career that you want to have.